Well, reporting a story has been there since man came on earth. Whenever there's an interaction and somebody observes some things, somebody infers something, and he has an urge to communicate this to another person, that's called reporting. And as we got more complex and our interactions became complicated, and then we started living in communities and societies, then it got organized, and we call it journalism. Well, the word journal is probably something to do with a book and a pen, and noting down something that happens with a pen into a book, and the book is called journal. And somebody who keeps a journal, or somebody who makes a entry into the journal, is probably a journalist, probably. Well, and then there is the word correspondent. Correspondent means who corresponds with another person of what he has observed, what he has captured in words into his journal. When he exchanges it with somebody else in return for something, that becomes corresponding, you know. And so you have correspondent and you have a journalist. And then because you want to communicate to the masses and you have a big audience, so you need a medium that can reach out to 25,000 people at one go, and therefore you have a medium to communicate what is in the journal and what you are corresponding as a correspondent. So you have journalist, correspondent, and the medium is called media. So now media is an industry. It has got journalists and has got correspondents. And medium could be print, it could be television, it could be online media, or it could be the new age media such as SMSs or Twitter and multiple types of social media. Now it got so organized and there is a communication language. So there are a lot of people who want to express themselves fully and they do not know how to communicate, how to express themselves fully. And then there is a language by which people understand a story. So if I want to tell a story to you, and if I want to keep you interested, and if I want to capture your attention into the story, it must have a format. The format must be the way you are listening. So I must do a research on how do you listen. If it is incoherent, I may be attempting to communicate to you the story, but if my language is incoherent and it's not audible, and if the medium I've selected to tell that to you does not ever reach you, then perhaps my attempt may go in vain. It may not be useful to you or to me. So there is a lesson I have to learn on what medium or what media I should use to reach you, or what is your preference of how to read the story. For example, some people, they would like to read a blog because a blog tells them the story at their pace of listening, whereas a television news report does not tell it to them at their pace of listening. So everybody has a different pace at which they listen, at which they process the information. So the multiple medium are there, or multiple medias are there, appropriate for various people. So a study which is organized and systematic and a language that is understood by the masses, the formatting by which the masses relate to a story, and that is the gist of a media studies. So I thought it's only proper that the time has come where the reporting and corresponding and the explosion of the number of media is happening. It's only appropriate that people start aligning themselves with this new development and learn the technicalities, the theory, the practicalities, and how to use this to their advantage by formatting the story. The story must have a substance, it must have an introduction, it must have a conclusion, it must have some appeal, it must capture your attention into it, it must communicate well, and it can have a rainbow or a plethora of undercurrents, emotions, whatever it goes into making a story. Now there are categories of story. It could be entertaining story, it could be documentary, it could be a tutoring somebody about some technicalities. About the language, for example, everything is changing. The entire world is just continuity and change, continuity and change. Even as I speak to you, the English language is changing. What is the spelling of the word color. Yeah, some people say C-O-L-O-U-R and some people say it's C-O-L-O-R. So color has two spellings. So one is used in the US as C-O-L-O-R and another is used in the UK, which is C-O-L-O-U-R. But now there is something called the accepted global English. So that's, I do not know, I make no accusations, but probably by the IT companies. The IT companies that has influenced through their spell checks and the language that which they are founded on, or the systems that they are founded on. The global accepted English is more leaning towards the American side. So that way now it is C-O-L-O-R, and very few people in the world still continues to use C-O-L-O-U-R. So I'm just bringing your attention to, we have to learn communication. We have to learn how to communicate. So Media College, it's about teaching to communicate, understanding the changing way the people relate to even language. For example, the past generation in India had a word called office timings. The office timings. But today nobody uses that word. They call it working hours. The working hours are between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Nobody says it's office timings. So even the language has changed. So media education is about understanding the change in language, understanding the perception of people when they listen to a language, choosing the correct medium to communicate, construction of the right way to construct and format a story, and corresponding it with people, making a journal of it and reporting it. These are the basic dots of the media industry. See, when I say media and when I say communication, I do not mean only news stories. It could be documentary, it could be photojournalism, it could be sports writing. So it is just unending, and it could be emotions, it could be sentiments, it could be communicating an event which is not amounting to news, which is not amounting to news. It could be festival, it could be spirituality, it could be academics, it could be organic farming, it could be anything. It could be oceanography, geology. So, well, the people can choose what they want to see, what they want to learn. It could be educative. There are many universities which are online, that people do their academics online. But important part is that the people choose something which is progressive, which will educate them to make their living, to navigate through their living more successful, more with achievement. Some media interaction could be by which people learn things, how they learn to accomplish their ambitions. So that's up to them to choose. The media industry has its own guidelines, but ultimately the fine line of what is moral, it's a debatable thing. So some people do not know how to create rich content, but that's not only for media, that's for anything. You can have a good tea and you can have a bad tea. So it's creating good content and differentiating the good content from bad content is not limited to media industry. It could be tea, it could be football, it could be clothes, it could be watch, it could be a car. So everywhere there are people who strives more to create better quality. There are people who does more to enhance the user convenience and the enjoyable consumer experience. And there are people who give you a raw deal. There are people who does not exert themselves to care for the consumer, who dishes out bad product, who are insensitive to the real need of consumers, the quality of the product. So that's not limited to media. The quality of the product, it's a big debate in whichever product that you are giving attention to. I would think that actually a bad product is a criminal offense. because that means I'm creating a bad product which is substandard, and you have no choice but to buy my product, or you end up buying my product. So I think I share a responsibility if I do that the product is not good. So I think all of us must strive to do little more, exert little more to create a better product, to enhance the enjoyability of the product by the consumer. Yeah, you must have good trainers in a college. Training is a different science by itself. Just because somebody is a good reporter does not mean he's a good trainer. So training, the job of training must be by good trainers. I don't believe in this thing of affiliations to big industrial houses from the media college. I think the college must be independent so that it focuses on training. It understands how to set a curriculum, how to create a syllabus, how to educate. It understands the psychology, how the student learns. Education must give careers. Education must not be limited to give you a job. So most of the people, they choose a college or a stream to study to get to a job, which I discourage. Wherever I am educating people, I tell them you must study something because you want to make it your career, not a job. Because if you look at a job and then study something to get a job, then you're limited to only that dimension of that industry, of that company. You become comfortable only in that company. But if you are in the pursuit of a career in the college level, while you're in the college, and then you can develop a career irrespective of whichever company you work in. You can work in any company because you are in the right career. So wherever I'm training people to be in the media studies, I try to give them a career and not just limit them to a job. Well, lifestyle is a different matter by itself. See, lifestyle is not limited to a good job. Many people have good lifestyles because they have good careers. A good career may not be easy. A good job could be easy. So you decide what you want to do. I think the more you seek comfort and convenience, you become very vulnerable and less alert. And the less you seek comfort and convenience, you become more alert. So I would anytime compromise on my comfort and convenience and choose to enhance my alertness. So a career is always advised than just to seek a job, because a job can give you a good lifestyle of comfort and convenience, but a career can give you alertness, and it can develop your initiative. It will develop your initiative to do things, and you're repeatedly on your toes to maneuver through your challenging times in a career. So you become a domain expert. You become very good at what you do. As a trainer, my integrity will not allow me to simply give you a job. I will need to educate you to seek a career. Yeah, see, ultimately we are all social people, and so even the dimension of journalism, you need to integrate yourself with the society. So to be able to integrate yourself with society, you must understand some bit of socio-metrics, and that way you should know how to integrate your behavior with social behaviors. So as such, though you become a professional and though you become a domain expert, it should also make you gel with the community that you live in. It must also allow you the details of how to be part of the social development around you. So certainly the career development must go hand in hand with social development. See, to get a career in journalism, it's certainly worth investing. It's always from a perspective of the expenditure of time and the resources. It's about trust. if I trust the providence and if I have self-confidence, then I should show my self-confidence in me by investing in my career, by investing resources and my time to pursue my aspirations, to pursue my interest. That shows that I trust me and I trust the people around me. And that's an investment, it's not a cost. So every time you pursue your aspiration and that is chosen judiciously and responsibly, then investing resources is essential, because that shows how much I trust myself, and that shows how I have conviction in my decision, and I am a person who is self-driven, and I'm a person who has self-direction. Therefore, I should not doubt when I'm going to choose a career in journalism and to educate myself into it. As a trainer, I have something called, I feel nice about it. I feel it's self-rewarding. It's self-rewarding, So I'm not seeking any great external rewards or award or incentivizing or compensation. So it's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy training. So I think everybody need to do what they love to do, so that they become self-rewarded.